Um, Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar on RealForce, the real estate cloud built on Salesforce. Himanshu is our speaker today, and he's going to show you how you can grow your property portfolio with 3,000 ready-to-use app integrations. Before we start, if anybody has questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box, and we'll be answering those after the webinar. So before I hand this over, I want to give a quick overview of who we are and what we do. RealForce is a global organization. We have partnerships with various enterprise application providers such as SAP, Salesforce, AWS, Microsoft, and multiple other organizations who provide software services within the enterprise space. We proudly serve our customers globally, and we have presence in the US, India, Canada, UAE, and Singapore. In our last few RealForce webinars, we covered what RealForce is, its capabilities, pricing structure, and how you can save costs using RealForce. We also talked about unified reporting and how an AI system works on the platform. In case you missed any of them, I highly recommend visiting our YouTube page at RealForce, where you can find all our previous webinars available. So without further delay, Himanshu, over to you.
Thanks, Julia, for the introduction. So we can start with the today's session. So today we will be diving deep into the integration stuff here, how we're integrating the different apps that are one-click installable with our RealForce system and making it easy for our customers to build their real estate business over our RealForce platform. So the system provides one-click installable applications. So there are more than like 3,000 plus applications available that you can directly install from our system that is called App Exchange. You just need your user credentials. You can directly log in there and get this app installed to your system as per your need. And depending on your needs, these can be paid or free versions. Then the other connectivity that we provide are the flow solutions. So the flow basically works on the principle of no code process. These are drag and drop tools that are provided there. So if we talk with an example, for example, you need to update a field on account from in process to approved. If you go with the coding logic, then you need to write a code of around 20 to 25 lines, and you need to do the unit testing and writing the test classes. Whereas if you go with the solution of a flow, you can just simply get a record triggered flow, drop your update box there, and just change the value of field from in process to approved, and we are good to go. So flow muchly save our time and make it easy for us. Then comes the lightning component. So Salesforce do provide us the pre-built custom UI that can be used, but sometimes according to our needs, we need a different UI to be created. Then we can go with the lightning components. It provides us the capability of creating beautiful UIs. So for an example, you need a form from where you will be getting the leads into the system. So using lightning components, you can create a form for a lead information, for example, their first name, last name. You can get the complete contact information, and just hitting the save button, you can directly get that information into Salesforce, and a record will be created. Once the record is created, you can just get on call with that lead, convert them, make them an opportunity, and convert them into an account on record. Whereas the lightning and bolts, these are the predefined custom build UIs that Salesforce provided. For example, you're creating a form to get the information of a contact or a lead. So you don't need to create a complete input box from your side using the HTML and basic JavaScript. You can directly use the predefined input box there and build your lightning component UI. Then talking about RealForce, we have 24/7 experts available on our RealForce system. You can directly just get in contact with them using our email IDs. They will be helping you out there with the problems regarding your real estate business and the situations. We have our community built for the RealForce where you can get in touch, chat with the people for your solutions. So this is Salesforce App Exchange. So this provides you the one-click installable apps. You can go to App Exchange. You can select the apps or get them as per your requirement. If we talk about one of the apps that is available on DocuSign, on App Exchange is DocuSign. So DocuSign allows you to create pre-built templates where you can decide what you need to send to the customer for signing, and it is completely digital signing. You don't need to send the physical copies to the customer to get it signed. All the work will be through the system, and the signing will be done. Once the signing is done, you can make your records like status approved or the lead is converted. In RealForce, we do have DocuSign implemented. Once your lead has been converted into a contact, you can send them the lease agreement using the DocuSign. The lease agreement is sent out, they can digitally sign it. The responses get back to the Salesforce system, and we convert this and we make the lease agreement approved. So this is all about Exchange, how you can install the apps there. There are other apps also. You can create different payment gateways to get the payments directly. Then comes the API-driven architecture. So it is very easy to integrate your different system, your different databases with RealForce using secure batch synchronization, using a username and password. So we allow two-way communication. You can send data to RealForce and just get the data out of RealForce using the API integration. For example, one of your database contains the data for your accounts and contacts. So easily integrating it with RealForce, you can send all your data of contacts and accounts to RealForce using the standard API and standard objects, accounts and contacts. In the same way, you need to get your data from RealForce or the Salesforce platform out. You can integrate it with our system and get your data to the third-party database. Some common use cases of this API-driven architecture that we already discussed is the account and contact synchronization and maintenance. You can send the data in and send the data out, and all this API-driven architecture will be securely done with profiles and roles. So we have profiles. Depending on these profiles, all the person will have the access to the record, and the roles also will be defined to get the access to the record. For example, a sales rep cannot see the records of a sales manager. In the vice versa way, sales manager can see all the records of sales rep, including his records also. Then customer specific product pricing and quoting. We do allow to prepare the pricing and quotes for your property for the new lead, and they can just see the quotation that you will be providing them. These quotation will be generated in PDF format and you can send them out directly. It depends, and you can do the versioning of these quotations easily there, and depending on the need of the lead, they can sign the quotation and we are good to go. Opportunity auto processing. So once an opportunity has been won, you can directly do the order processing and convert them into a contact in your system and an account. Talking about the post order processing, when the lease is signed with the tenant or the contact, then you can assign them the apartment and the building easily with their financial data visualization. So RealForce platform has reports and dashboard available. You can see your monthly revenues there easily, how many number of accounts the properties you are handling, and how many number of tenants are living in these properties using the financial data visualization. So on monthly basis, you can create the reports, and easily using these reports, you can create dashboard with different kinds of available charts, the pie, the line, and the bar charts, and get a better visual representation for your data that can help you in earning more business. Customer service. Talking about customer service, so we do provide like case supports also. So your customers or your tenants living in your buildings, they can easily get in touch with you using the forms that are pre-provided there. They can fill in their complaints or their any questions or queries that they need the resolution. The case will be created in the system. It will be allocated to the responsible person, and they can get in touch with the person to resolve these queries. Customer specific marketing. So here we can run the campaigns for your properties that can bring you more leads, more opportunities using our marketing cloud feature. So all these things can be done there. And once the leads are created in the system, you can warn them and convert these opportunities in your account and contacts. We are in the same way, we can connect a custom objects also. Talking about custom objects, for example, for your property, you need to generate the invoices on the monthly basis. So you can create custom objects there and run batches and different using the integration and create the generate the invoices there. Then the API library. So a pre-built or ready to use APIs are easy to integrate. There is no logic needed to create a new API. You easily can install them on click of a button. So they are ready to use there. Schema secured, we already talked about the profiles and role. So all the data that is visible to a particular user will be completely on the basis of the profiles and role that he possesses. No such other user can see his data. So all the APIs are schema secured. Scalable performance, depending on your need, we have pre-built APIs available. For example, you need to do bulk operations, then we have available bulk APIs that you can use for your operations. Generating invoices on the monthly basis for in millions of chunks, then you can use the bulk operations there and make your performance scalable. Some sample of ready to use APIs are SOAP API. So SOAP API provides us a visual file that contains all the configuration that you need to do for the data processing. In the same way, streaming API, you can implement the streaming API to change the data capture events in near real time. For example, you ran a batch in the night, and once all the batch is completed and the invoices are generated and there is any change in the data, the streaming API can send you email notifications or bell notifications to know that your invoices are generated, and now you can just start billing for the month. Subscription management API. So this allow you to sell and generate invoices and recognize revenue from subscription products. So for example, your tenants have subscribed for different kind of amenities in your property. So you can use the subscription management API and see what are the invoices or the selling of these amenities in a apartment or in your society is going on. The Tableau REST API is one of the best that is ready to use API. You can use the Tableau platform and send your data from Salesforce to visualize in a much better way on the Tableau in the dashboard form. So you can see a monthly billing revenue there in the Tableau by passing on the records using the API, and see what is your monthly revenue generated for the month, how you can gain more business and bring more opportunities. User interface API allows you to create good UI depending on your need for mobile app and custom web applications. In the same way, we have more APIs available that can be used and just install on a click. Then come the API possibility. So depending on your needs, we have both kind of APIs available, the synchronous and asynchronous API with a host combination of REST, SOAP, and bulk protocols. So if we go with the example of a synchronous API, so we have a software RealPay where you can do the payments for your monthly rent easily. So RealPay is an example of synchronous communication. You can just enter your card details. The system will fetch your card details and just go to the backend to the payment gateway server, clear out your payment and give you the response then and there that your payment is successfully done. Email notification will be sent out to your emails and a receipt will be generated for you for the current month, having the details for your monthly rent. Whether on the other hand, if we talk about the asynchronous API, so if you want to generate the invoices at the month and the chunk is large, there are a million of records that need to be processed. So you can use the asynchronous API there. You can run the batch in the night and just let the system do its job, create the invoices. And once the invoice processing is done, it will send you the notification that the invoice is generated for the current month. You can come next morning, check the data there, and get verified that all the things are correct. Talking about the different APIs that we are available are REST API. So REST API follows the REST protocol and it do supports two data format that are JSON and XML. And the communication process that you use is synchronous, whereas the SOAP API use the visual or the SOAP protocol. The data format it allows is only XML, so no JSON is allowed in SOAP API. And the communication is also synchronous there. Then comes the bulk API. So bulk API has two versioning available. The one is V1 version and the other one is V2 version. The V1 version follows both the version follows the protocol of REST. The major difference is there that the V1 allowed us to send the data in JSON and XML format, whereas the V2 version allows us to send the data in CSV format. And both of these communication are asynchronous because we need to process a large chunk of data, and then this cannot be simultaneously or synchronous at the same time. Then here comes an example of REST API. So the basic difference between the JSON and the XML is the JSON is lightweight and the XML is heavyweight. So what does lightweight and heavyweight means? So JSON uses a tree-like structure where we have like a key and a value pair, as we can see here. So here is a label. So label will become a key for us and the value is Spring 11. So in this way, we can see the tree structure is going on. Here is the node for this JSON body, and then comes the first branch here, then comes the next branch, and same way we can carry on with the other branches of this node. Whereas in XML body, you need to create your own labels. What these labels or this HTML tag means, you need to define the text for everything. For example, you need to send the information of a contact which has first name and last name. So you need to define your own tags here. You need to give a tag of first name here, then closing tag for this first name, and fill in the data in there. Same way for the last name. So JSON is like a bit complex as compared to XML is a bit complex as compared to JSON, because you need to define your tags for everything. Whereas in JSON, it by default takes the value with key and value pair. And and also this is how we can integrate our system with RealForce. So you just need to pass on the domain name with salesforce.com, the domain where you need to integrate the services, and then you need to define what kind of services you are going to use. Like you will be fetching the report, you will be getting the reports or dashboard, or sending out the data and all these things from here. The most important thing while fetching or integrating with the system is to get a bearer token. So to make it more secure with the system, we don't directly send out the username and password over the server. Using the username and password, we create a new bearer token, and then we integrate the system. We can give a time limit that for how much time this bearer token will be available, and then we need to take a new token. So the maximum time limit is 1 hour. So for 1 hour, if you give a limit, then your bearer token will be available to do the fetching of the data or integrate with the system. Then we have our asset tracking system available in the system. So we have our integration with FedEx and UPS. So if we talk in the terms of a tenant who is living in a society or an apartment, and he wants to shift his furniture and other items from his apartment to a different apartment or different society, so they can just log in a request on the system itself, that they need a furniture shift from their society, from their apartment, and that will be directly sent on the FedEx or UPS side. Then the team will be handling your all the furniture, and you will be getting the live notifications for all the things that will be where is a transitioning going on for the furniture and all the things. And same way for the property management team, like there might be some maintenance work that might be needed in your society or in your apartment. Then the property management team can order the different products or the things that are needed for the maintenance, and through FedEx and UPS they can get that item delivered. So they can also track that what is the location of the item that they are going to receive with the live notifications that are available with the system. So that's all for today with the integration and the capabilities that we have available in the RealForce with the easily clickable and downloadable apps. And if you have any questions, you can email us at sales@realtors.com. We have our global headquarters in Austin, United States, and in India we are at Pune and Noida. We are also in Canada and Singapore. These are the practices that we follow at Realtors: Salesforce, SAP, Pardot, SuccessFactors, and all other major technologies that are right now in the market. We deal with all such technologies. That's all, and now we are open for the QA session.
Thank you, Himanshu. Yes, if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box, and we will answer those for you. If not, then feel free to email us anytime at sales@realtus.com.